The Seduction of the African Underwater Goddess, a marriage that led to tragedy. Deep in the heart of the African savanna, there lay a mystical lake known as Tano. It was said to be home to an ancient, enchanting deity, the African underwater goddess, Kalinda. She was whispered about among the villagers, feared and revered for her mesmerizing beauty and powerful allure. Her skin shimmered like the night sky, her eyes the color of molten gold, and her lips as full and lush as a ripe fruit. Kalinda was known for her deadly beauty, and only the brave or foolish dared to venture too close to her waters. Jabari was a striking man from the nearby village, his skin a deep, rich shade of ebony that gleamed in the sunlight. He was tall and broad-shouldered, with muscles carved from years of hunting and working under the African sun. His face was strong, with high cheekbones and piercing brown eyes that seemed to hold the wisdom of the ancestors. Jabari was admired by many, but he was known for his restless spirit and curiosity about the forbidden lake. The tales of Kalinda's beauty had always fascinated him. One moonlit night, driven by curiosity and the whispers of the villagers, Jabari ventured to the lake. The air was thick with the scent of wildflowers, and the moon cast a soft glow on the still waters. As Jabari approached the water's edge, he felt a strange pull, as if something or someone was calling him from the depths. Kalinda, the African underwater goddess, rising gracefully from the lake, her shimmering obsidian skin reflecting the moonlight. Her long, flowing black hair cascades down her back, and her body is adorned with golden bangles, beaded necklaces, and traditional African jewelry that glints in the light. Her full lips are painted a deep, seductive red, and her glowing golden eyes fixate on Jabari. The scene is ethereal and enchanting, with the calm waters of the lake surrounding her, casting a spell over the night. Kalinda's voice, soft and melodic, drifted through the air as she spoke to Jabari. Her words were sweet, like honey, drawing him closer to the water's edge. Every movement she made was graceful, as if the very air around her responded to her presence. Jabari found himself unable to resist. He stepped into the water, moving toward her, his mind clouded with desire. Jabari waded deeper into the water, his eyes never leaving Kalinda's. She reached out, her fingers brushing against his, and in that instant, he felt a rush of warmth. Kalinda smiled, her lips full and inviting, her body shimmering as she gently pulled him into her world. It was a moment of surrender, where Jabari gave in completely to the seduction of the goddess. As Kalinda led Jabari beneath the surface, the lake transformed into a dazzling, otherworldly realm. The water shimmered with a soft blue glow, and in the distance, majestic coral formations and sparkling gemstones decorated the underwater palace. Jabari marveled at the beauty around him, but the deeper they went, the more he felt the weight of Kalinda's power. He was no longer in control, he belonged to her. In the depths of the underwater palace, Kalinda declared her intentions. She wanted Jabari as her husband. Despite the joy that flickered in his heart at the thought of such a union, a sense of foreboding lingered. Nevertheless, he agreed, and a secret marriage ceremony took place, witnessed only by the creatures of the lake. Kalinda adorned Jabari with symbols of the underwater kingdom, bracelets made of shimmering pearls and golden anklets that signified his new life with her now. For days, Jabari remained with Kalinda in her underwater palace. She showered him with affection, and he experienced a life of luxury beyond his wildest dreams. Kalinda, with her golden eyes and enchanting presence, made him feel like he was in a dream. But as time passed, Jabari began to miss the warmth of the sun, the sound of his village, and the life he had left behind. Back in the village, the people grew concerned. Jabari had vanished without a trace. His family searched the forest, but there was no sign of him. The elders suspected what had happened, that he had fallen victim to the legendary Kalinda. Fear gripped the village, and they mourned the loss of their beloved son, believing he was gone forever. Beneath the surface, Jabari's longing for his old life grew stronger. Though Kalinda continued to shower him with love and attention, he couldn't shake the feeling of being trapped. He missed the warmth of the sun on his skin, the laughter of his friends, and the sense of freedom that life in the village had given him. But he knew escaping Kalinda's grasp would not be easy. Kalinda, sensing Jabari's growing restlessness, became more possessive. Her once soft and loving demeanor began to change. Her golden eyes, which once glowed with warmth, now flickered with suspicion and jealousy. She reminded Jabari that their bond was unbreakable, that he was hers for eternity. But deep down, Jabari knew he couldn't live underwater forever. Tension between Kalinda and Jabari grew as his desire for freedom clashed with her possessive love. Their once passionate relationship became strained, and arguments erupted between them. Jabari pleaded to return to the surface, even if only for a short time, but Kalinda refused. Her fear of losing him drove her to tighten her hold on him. Desperate, Jabari began to form a plan to escape the underwater kingdom. He remembered the stories of the goddess's vulnerability during the new moon, a time when her powers were weakened. With this knowledge, Jabari waited patiently, hoping for the right moment to break free from her grasp and return to the surface. On the night of the new moon, the underwater realm was dim and quiet. Kalinda, her powers weakened, rested in her palace. Jabari saw his chance. With a heavy heart, he swam toward the surface, his mind filled with the hope of returning to his village. The water around him was cold and dark, but the thought of freedom pushed him forward. As Jabari reached the surface, Kalinda awoke and realized what had happened. Devastated by his betrayal, she called out to him, her voice filled with sorrow and pain. The waters of the lake trembled with her grief. For the first time, Kalinda felt vulnerable, and the betrayal of the man she loved cut deeper than any wound. When Jabari emerged from the lake, the villagers were astonished. They had long believed him to be lost to the depths. His return was celebrated, and the people rejoiced. But despite the happiness that surrounded him, Jabari's heart was heavy with the knowledge that he had left Kalinda behind, broken and alone. The goddess, heartbroken and consumed by rage, vowed revenge. She unleashed her fury on the village, summoning storms and floods that devastated the land. The once peaceful lake became a place of terror, as Kalinda's sorrow turned to anger. The villagers, once joyful at Jabari's return, now feared for their lives as the goddess's wrath descended upon them. Jabari, filled with guilt and sorrow, knew that he was the cause of the villagers' suffering. He had betrayed Kalinda's love, and now his people were paying the price. He resolved to return to the lake, to face Kalinda, and try to make amends. But he knew deep down that there might be no forgiveness for the pain he had caused. In a final confrontation, Jabari returned to the lake to beg for Kalinda's forgiveness. The goddess, still heartbroken, could not bring herself to forgive him fully. In a moment of sorrow and rage, she pulled him back into the depths, where they both vanished, never to be seen again. The lake returned to its eerie calm, but the legend of the African underwater goddess and her tragic love would live on forever. Hope you enjoyed the story. Please subscribe and like for more stories. Thank you.